So easy to do, fast results, and they're really good place to start if you haven't started making your own natural feeds before. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Josie and I am a natural gardening coach. So I help gardeners to grow and support their garden naturally. Right, so today I want to talk to you about how to bank nutrients ready for the spring. So using autumn and winter basically to prepare yourself for the spring. So there are literally hundreds of variations on this theme, but I've got three methods for you here that are really simple and you're going to get fast results. So easy to do, fast results, and they're really good place to start if you haven't started making your own natural feeds before. So number one, a weed soak. Now weed soak's very simple, a liquid feed for your plants that will provide a variety of different nutrients for your garden. We've got included in the, depending on what weeds you use, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium and manganese as well. So there's a variety of different nutrients, macro and micronutrients involved in this liquid feed. So it's a real beneficial one for you. And we've all got weeds growing in the garden. Let's not kid ourselves. We've all got weeds. So that's a big ingredient in this. So it might even help you clear your garden of weeds. All you need for this one is a bucket or barrel or drum, something to put the weeds in, something to weight the weeds down, so like a brick, board, block, something to hold the weeds down, water, and of course weeds. A simple one. So any weeds will do for this one, but the best weeds to use are weeds with tap roots, so like dandelions, things like that, comfrey. Anything with a tap root because they store more nutrients in them. So you get the nitrogen from the greenery, and then you get all the goodness and everything from that's stored in the roots as well. Because a taproot is a plant's food store as well. Not all plants have got tap roots, so look for the weeds with tap roots. They'll be more effective. So you chop up the weeds to speed up the breakdown process. Put all the weeds in the bucket, all the broken down weeds and everything, chopped up weeds, into the bucket and then weight them down. Now you want to weight them down because, as I say, they break down, they'll tend to float around. So if you weight them down, they're all together at the bottom. Weight them down and then fill them with water to about an inch above the top level of the weeds. So an inch above the weeds. Now using water or water from a natural source rather than a hose pipe or tap water will benefit this process definitely. There will be all the organisms and stuff living in the water from the rain, which will speed up the process, and there's a lot more benefits to natural water than there is from the tap water from the mains. So that helps as well. So you leave this to stand just stick it in a corner somewhere behind your shed, anywhere that you're not really going to be bothered by it. It will smell, so just putting that there, it will smell. So you want to put it somewhere that's not going to bother you. So leave it alone for a good couple of weeks. The longer you can leave it, the more nutrients will get leached out of the material as it breaks down, the vegetation as it breaks down. So you really want to leave it for as long as you can, but a minimum of 2 weeks, ideally. When you come to decant the liquid off, when you come to use it, if you like, when you come to decant the liquid off into another container, you can use the ranky veg inside. The decomposing vegetation, you can put it on your compost heap, or you can use it in your garden as like a green mulch if you like, and that will just continue to break down and then benefit your garden even more. Now this mix is to 1 part liquid feed, which is the concentrated stuff you just made, 1 part to 10 parts water. So this mix will go a long way as well, depending on how much you make, and it will store up to 6 months, sometimes to a year. Generally speaking, you don't need to store it that long because you've used it by then, but it can, if you make loads of it, it can store up to a year. So that's fine. As I say, this feed will contain good levels of nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus, calcium and magnesium and manganese. But depending on what weeds you use, depends on the level. Number 2, nettle or comfrey tea. Now this is a common one. A lot of gardeners make this and store it, and it's a very effective feed. Really high nitrogen. It does contain a bit of phosphorus as well. Very useful for tomato feeds. We like making this one. I make it every year. In fact, I've just run out, so I need to start making some more anyway. So that's fine. So same principle as the weed soak. You need a bucket, drum, barrel, whatever you want to do. Water from a water butt is better. Weight to weight down the vegetation, and then the nettles and all the comfrey. Never made them together as a mix. Probably not worth it. Try it. Try it if you want to. Try it. That's what you need for this one. And again, same process. Chop weeds up, put them in the bucket, weight them down and then cover them with water sort of about 1 inch above the vegetation. Leave it for at least 2 weeks, if not as long as you can. When you want to start to use it, if you like, decant it off into another container and then put the vegetation in the compost or in the garden, and then let that can do its thing. It can rot down, and then mix it 1 to 10 mix again for the concentrate to use as a foliar feed. You can use it as a just water on the garden, anything like that, and then it'll store up for a year. But again, mine's never lasted that long. Never lasted a year because I've used it by the time it comes to that. By the time it comes to 6 months, I've used it. So my third one is a new one for me, which I'm going to try this year. Very excited. I believe it's Korean based, but I think it's been changed a little to meet depending on where you are in the world. Fermented plant juice. Now, it sounds complicated, but actually it's really straightforward, and it doesn't take you any longer really than the first two that I mentioned. So I'm going to give it a try this year and see what happens. Experiment, because you can. This one will give you nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. Now some people, depending on what vegetation I suppose you're using it, some people say it can provide calcium and magnesium, and I suppose it depends on what you use to get the nutrients out. This one you can use any veg based, any fruit based. Ideally not, well, it's no good for citrus fruits, so don't use citrus fruits, but you can use things like tomatoes, cucumbers, cabbage leaves, potatoes, banana skins, bananas, anything like that. Sugar or like brown raw sugar, molasses, anything like that. I have seen people suggest honey, but some people, there's mixed reviews on honey. Don't know why. If you want to try it with honey, try it with honey. But sugar or molasses seem to be the go-to ones for this one. I'll be trying sugar. So chop up your mix, your waste mix, your fruit and your veg, chop it up and weigh it. That's the important part. So you'll weigh it and then weigh out the same amount of sugar. Mix the two together so all of the waste is coated with sugar, so it's got good coating all round, so well mixed. Cover the container, don't seal it, but stop any flies or anything getting into it, and let it vent, let it breathe, and then leave it in a cool place for a week to sit and sort itself out. That's the first stage of the fermentation process, to making your fermented plant juice. So after the week, you want to decant off the liquid into like a screw top jar or something like that. Decant it off, but leave an air gap at the top. Don't screw the top down tight. Leave it so the air can come out, and then leave that in a cool place again for another 2 weeks. After those 2 weeks, screw the top tight and then put it in the fridge to start the fermentation process. And then it's ready to use in the garden. Fairly simple steps to it. This one can smell, so wherever you're leaving it in a cool place, prepare that it might have a bit of a whiff. As I said, this one will give you nitrogen, it'll give your plants nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus, so the 3 basics, which is really good, but it depends on what fruit and veg you use for any extras that it might have in it. So they're the basics that it provides, which is good, because that's what plants need. So this will store up to a year as well in its screw jar, and you only need to use 30 ml of the liquid feed to a litre of water. So it'll last you as well. So hopefully those are giving you some ideas of where to start. And it's so easy and so simple. So save you money, save you time, and save you effort in the spring. So what more can you ask for? Let me know in the comments if you're going to try any of these, or let me know if you are trying any of these, if you're already doing them. I'm already doing the nettle and comfrey tea anyway, but I want to try the fermented plant juice because it sounds interesting and fun, and I thought, well, why not? Give it a go, because you can. But yeah, if you're doing any of these already, let us know. Let us know how they're getting on, how easy they actually are, and yeah, so there are absolutely loads of variants on this theme. So whatever you're doing that's different but similar, let us know. And if you've got any tips, let us know. That'd be great. So I will leave it there, and thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, if you got value from this video, give us a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. And if you click this one here, there's a little box here, check it out. That'll be my next video in the run. So have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. See you later.